What is going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Horror Guru Review. Today we will be discussing a movie that I just finished this morning, Kill Her Goats. Kill Her Goats. This one will be a spoiler-free review. I don't usually do this, but I'm actually going to do both right after one another. I'm going to have this one, and then I'm going to have another spoiler one, because there's just some things that I need to discuss that I feel like a spoiler-free one just really could not get into it. So with that being said, if you want, I'm going to have it in the description so you can make sure to watch either one you want. So Kill Her Goats is the newest, more indie B movie that has Kane Hodder in it as playing the slasher Goatface. Pretty much what the movie's about is you got this girl, Audra. She just graduated and her family bought her a house. That must be really nice. So her family buys her this house in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. She gets there, sees her two friends, and the whole story is pretty much that night. They're hanging out at her place, and they get visited by Goatface. And it's a horror movie. It is, I clocked it in at an hour and 39 minutes. It was one of those movies that you're going to look at and be kind of questioning what's going on the whole time. So anyway, like I said, Audra's there with her friends, Reese and Missy. They both are locals. They both live in the town. They're her friends, and she's the ones that they stay with for the night. In this movie, I did notice that you have, acting-wise, not the greatest performances, in my opinion. And I think that one of the things where we can go into the pros, cons, and neutrals for this one, because it really was just a different kind of movie for me. It did not do it. Very, very small storyline basis, I feel like. Character building, world building. There really wasn't a lot to discuss in the movie, since this whole movie takes place all within one day/night. So you have in this movie, for the pros, I put Goatface's costume is actually pretty cool. I think that that's something that is one of the first things that I look for is the costume design. You look at a lot of the newer ones. You look at like Art the Clown, even the new Winnie the Pooh. You want to go the mean one. You want to look at the character costumes, and is this someone that I think is viable enough to take on this role? Is this guy gonna be a machine, and does he look the part? And I think that the Goatface costume actually did do its purpose when it came to that. Another opening thing was the opening scene that I did enjoy. To me, it reminded me of, because they are kind of going for a throwback kind of movie when making this, they kind of were going for like B-grade slasher 80s, if you want that as a description. Just very low tier for me. But the opening scene was actually really good. It kind of reminded me of the old school Jason movies, and it doesn't kind of shock me because you have Kane Hodder, who's used as the Goatface portrayal of this character, and everyone knows him as Jason Voorhees. A lot of people think that he is the best Jason Voorhees. Personally, I like CJ Graham better, but Kane Hodder is still an amazing Jason. Another thing that I did, I liked how they nodded to director Wes Craven. This takes place in West Craven. The town is West Craven. Cape Cod, Massachusetts area. I know that's another thing that I liked about the movie. That's biasy on my end, is because I'm originally from Massachusetts, so anything that has that kind of setting, I'm all for. I love that scenery. I did like the nod to West Craven. As far as pros, that's really all I got. I mean, the kills were okay, but they weren't like nothing to brag about. The cons, okay, here we go. The protagonists are absolutely horrible. I just could not get into them. They weren't to me, they weren't people that I would be backing up to get out of there. You know, they weren't like a Sidney Prescott where you want to see Sidney get out of this, you know, or Nancy, you know, you want Nancy to beat Freddie. You know, you don't see with this one, you don't really get that from these characters. A lot of them don't really act. That's another thing. They really focused this time on Playboy models. Can you believe it or not? So this movie had 3 Playboy models that really you could tell don't act or don't do a lot of acting in the movie. The only 2 people that I saw in this that really were actors were the protagonist in this, Audra, and the introducing a new person, Missy, her friend Missy. I think it was one of her first roles. So acting wise, it just you could tell they weren't good, you know. And I'm all for cheesy movies. Do not get me wrong. I love cheesy movies. But hey, can you at least act like you're trying? So that's something that I saw that I didn't like. Protagonist didn't get behind. I didn't think that they had a good backstory, as well as a confusing plot twist. Not plot twist, but a confusing plot in general. The movie's pretty cut and dry for the first hour, and then after an hour, it kind of gets a little confusing, and you're left like wondering what was this scene? Why did they do this? Why did this person do this? Why was this incorporated in the movie here, but it never got picked up later on? So that was something that I didn't really like at all. So with that being said, the plot was just it was just horrible. And then I actually got a neutral thing this time. It was my first neutral one I think I've ever put for a review, and that is, because they were Playboy models, I could tell that the very first thing that this person, while making this movie, thought of was not putting on a good gore movie, was not putting on a good movie that's going to have a good plot or anything, or building a horror character to go into 2, 3, 4 different movies. No, he was focused on nudity. So, from the very first scene, all the way to the very last scene, there is nudity into it. There are some scenes where the girls are fully naked. There are some scenes where the girls are half naked. And when the girls aren't naked, they're wearing literally just a short tank top and just panties on. So when they made this movie, they were really, really focusing on that. They weren't focusing on anything but that, trying to, I feel like, in my opinion, make it so the plot didn't matter as much as nudity. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm all for, nudity in horror movies. I'm not one of those, people that's a stickler and says, oh, no, you can't do that. No, I'm all for it. But you know what? Can we at least make it matter? Can we at least make it matter? Because to me, it didn't matter because it was in every single scene. With that being said, my final grading of this, I actually gave it a 2 out of 5. I gave it a 2 out of 5, and that was being really generous. I wasn't even trying to. I went into this really wanting to like it, guys. I've heard of this movie now for months. For months, I've been looking forward to this movie, and to put this on and get what I got, I was so disappointed and crushed. And I thought because it was a Kane Hodder flick, maybe he would have done he would have been able to save the movie, but unfortunately to me he didn't. So if you want to watch it, it's on video on demand. I would find a way to watch it for free if I'm you. I would not pay a dime to watch this movie when there's so many other good new horror movies that you could check out. So with that being said, guys, this is my review on Kill Her Goats. I wish it was a better outcome. I really do. Again, this is gonna be the spoiler-free one. I'm gonna be posting the spoiler one right after this, so I'll make sure to put it in the description. So if you guys can do me a quick favor, because I am so close to this 100 100 subscriber mark. If you guys can just subscribe, like, comment, share, tell all your friends about my horror reviews. I really do. I put in I try to put in my best work for you guys, and I try to not to do the perfect blind. That way I'm not spoiling the movie at the same time as you can know what you're going into for this movie. So until next time, guys, that is my review for the Horror Guru review. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Alright guys, so what I decided to do was I decided to do the spoiler portion and just add it into the back of the spoiler free one. So if you've already seen the spoiler free version and want to see this one, this will be part of that. Now, with that being said, it's just a few things that I need to talk about with this, because that I really didn't get in the movie, and I just thought it was a waste of time. The first thing is the dream sequences between Missy. Why is she having these dream sequences? Because at the end of the movie, like, there was like nothing that those dream sequences did for me, because they didn't add anything onto the movie. So how did that work? What, did she get killed in the dreams? Did she get killed in the dreams? Because when Audra came to get her, she was dead in the bed. So was she dead by Goatface, or did the dreams kill her? That one was kind of a little bit of a mystery for me. A lot of open-ended questions for that one. You don't really know. Another thing introducing in this movie is you got Goatface, and then you got another one in the titles, Evil Batman. Evil Batman is the second biggest thing that really threw me off in this movie, because he doesn't look like Goatface, doesn't use the same weapon as Goatface, but he's in the movie and he's killing people as well. And at about a little over the halfway mark, he gets killed by Audra in the the boathouse. So she starts stabbing him after he had her trapped. She starts stabbing him to death, and then she keeps saying, "Who are you? Who are you?" And then at the end of the scene, she says, "It doesn't even matter," and just completely chops his head off. So you could see that he was a person. It wasn't like he was a ghost or anything, but we never got that answer of who was this evil Batman character, because it didn't matter. That was the last time you seen him in the movie. So I thought the movie was based just on this Goatface character by Kane Hodder, but he's in it as well, and there's no explanation on him in this movie. That I despised. That I really, really did not like that. Leading into Goatface himself, who the in the costume was Kane Hodder, but outside of the costume, when it got revealed, was Brett, who was Haley, the sister of Audra's, soon-to-be ex, who killed their dad to steal the inheritance. Now, again, okay, I guess, but if he's the killer, right? Again, who was the evil Batman? Who was this person that was like had a predominant role in the movie for some part of it? So that was one thing that I didn't like either. With him being, the actual killer in the movie, I thought it was going to be more of a supernatural take, and it really wasn't. It was just somebody in a costume trying to kill people, with Kane Hodder as the movement in the costume. And which brings me to another part in one of the final scenes where Brett, the Goatface, dies. He gets killed. He gets chopped up by the sisters, Audra and Haley. But at the same time, you have, again, the horrible acting, and you have Haley telling Audra, "He killed Dad. He killed our dad. He killed our dad." So then she starts chopping him up even more. So Haley started chopping him at first, and then Audra started chopping him, and then Haley wanted her to stop, and then it led into some fight between those two, like a legit fist fight, to where they're throwing axes at each other, and it's like, hold on, you guys are supposed to be sisters. You guys just went through this traumatic event, and I understand it's a horror movie. Not everything has to make sense in horror movies, but that just did not make sense to me at all. That you're going to have these two fighting for absolutely no reason. I just don't understand that part. Also, with that being said, I was very disappointed in this movie, guys. It was just one of those movies that all around, I'm like, why would they do that? At the same time, after Audra knocks out the sister, because she ended up knocking her out and not killing her, which again, don't even know why they needed to do that. She's walking on the sand behind her beach house, and it's the next morning now. Well, now she runs into her ex, Devin, and the girlfriend, Autumn, who pulled a prank earlier in the night by putting a goat in the yard in the house area. So it was a prank. It wasn't nothing serious. So Audra goes full villain and kills Devin with the axe. Like, this is supposed to be the good person in this movie, but she's now killing, for the most part, an innocent civilian, and then she beats the hell out of Autumn. Just keeps hitting her and hitting her and hitting her until she either A, knocks her out, or B, kills her. Her face isn't mangled, so you can't really tell. I'm leaning towards she killed her, but she could have easily just been hitting her until she knocked her out. That was another thing that I didn't like, because that was really the end of the movie right there. So that was my biggest spoilers that I wanted to bring up, that I really did not like, that really put this in my star rating way lower than I thought it should have been. These little plot twists right there, they absolutely killed it for me for this movie, and I am so disappointed with the outcome. I really hope that the next movie Kane Hodder's in is a redemption arc, because this one, it just wasn't it. Alright guys, this is the spoiler version. Again, I didn't feel the need to make a whole nother video just because I was adding these couple things in. So if you stuck around, I appreciate it. If you can, like, subscribe, comment. We are almost at 100 subscribers. A month ago, we were at like 50. So now we're climbing up there. And until next, guys, this has been the Horror Guru Review. Peace.